Here's what nobody tells you about loving a dog. You can adore them with every fiber of your being, spoil them with the finest treats money can buy, fill your camera roll with thousands of photos of their face, and still leave them emotionally starving. Not because you're a bad owner, not because you don't care, but because you've been speaking a language they were never designed to understand. If that hits somewhere deep, you're exactly where you need to be. Hit that subscribe button and stay with me, because what you're about to learn will change how you see every interaction with your dog from this moment forward. Most of us grew up believing that loving a dog was simple. You feed them, you pet them, you tell them they're a good boy in that ridiculous high-pitched voice we all pretend we don't use. You buy them toys, you let them sleep on the bed even though you swore you never would. And in return, they wag their tail, and you assume everything is perfect. But here's the uncomfortable truth that veterinary behaviorists have been trying to tell us for years. A wagging tail doesn't always mean a happy dog. And more importantly, the way you express love isn't necessarily the way your dog receives love. Think about it. When you come home after a long day, exhausted and distracted, you might scratch your dog's head for 3 seconds while checking your email. To you, that's affection. To your dog? That's a confusing mixed signal. Your body is present, but your energy is somewhere else entirely. They sense the disconnection. They feel it. Dogs don't measure love the way we do. They don't count the dollars spent on premium kibble or the square footage of their memory foam bed. They measure love in presence, in consistency, in moments where your attention belongs entirely to them, undivided and unhurried. And this is where most of us, loving, well-intentioned owners, accidentally fail. We've been taught that affection is enough, that as long as we feel love for our dogs, they somehow absorb it through osmosis. But dogs aren't mind readers. They're body language readers. They're energy readers. They're looking for specific gestures, specific signals that communicate safety, belonging, and connection in ways their species has understood for thousands of years. The 6 gestures I'm about to share with you aren't complicated. They don't require expensive training programs or hours of your day, but they do require something most of us struggle to give: intentionality. Your dog has been waiting their entire life to receive love in a language that actually reaches them. Some of these gestures will feel natural. Others might surprise you. One of them is so counterintuitive that most owners accidentally do the exact opposite, and it silently chips away at their dog's sense of security every single day. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what your dog has been waiting for. The question is, are you ready to finally give it to them? Let me ask you something that might seem strange at first. What time did you feed your dog this morning? Not approximately, not somewhere around 7. The exact time. If you had to pause to think about it, you're not alone. Most of us live lives that are beautifully chaotic, rushing out the door on Monday, sleeping in on Sunday, eating dinner at 6 one night and 9 the next. It's the rhythm of modern American life, and we've adapted to it beautifully. Your dog hasn't. The first gesture of love your dog expects from you isn't grand or expensive or particularly romantic. It's something far simpler and far more powerful: predictability. I know that sounds almost disappointing. You were probably expecting me to reveal some profound bonding technique, some secret ritual that would transform your relationship overnight. But here's what behavioral research consistently shows us. Dogs don't experience time the way we do. They can't check clocks, they can't read calendars. Their entire understanding of the world is built on patterns, rhythms, and the sacred reliability of routine. When you feed your dog at the same time every day, you're not just filling their stomach. You're telling them the world is safe. When you return home at a predictable hour, you're not just walking through the door. You're confirming that abandonment isn't coming, that you always come back, that the pack remains whole. Studies on canine stress hormones have found something remarkable. Dogs living in unpredictable environments, where feeding times shift, where owners come and go erratically, where the rhythm of the household changes constantly, show elevated cortisol levels even when nothing outwardly stressful is happening. Their bodies are stuck in a state of low-grade anxiety, perpetually bracing for uncertainty. And the heartbreaking part, they can't tell you. They just wait and worry and wonder. Now, I want to be clear about something. This isn't about guilt. If you work irregular hours, if your life doesn't fit into neat little boxes, you're not failing your dog. The power of predictability isn't about perfection. It's about creating anchors. Maybe you can't feed them at exactly 6 every evening, but maybe you can create a consistent morning ritual, the same sequence of events before you leave, the same phrase you say when you walk out, the same calm routine when you return. Dogs don't need your schedule to be rigid. They need it to be readable. They need to predict what comes next, because prediction is how they feel safe. Think about the moments when your dog seems most relaxed. I'd bet almost anything those moments happen within the pockets of routine you've already created without realizing it. The evening walk, the spot on the couch where you always sit together, the way you always pause at the same corner during your morning stroll. Those aren't just habits. Those are love letters written in the language of rhythm. Your dog doesn't need your life to be perfect. They just need to know what's coming next. When was the last time you truly looked at your dog? Not glanced, not checked on them while scrolling through your phone, not that quick visual sweep to make sure they're not chewing something they shouldn't be. I mean, really genuinely looked into their eyes and stayed there. If you're struggling to remember, you're about to discover something that might just change the entire emotional landscape of your relationship. The second gesture your dog has been waiting for is disarmingly simple. Your eyes. Your full, unhurried, soft-focused gaze meeting theirs in a moment of pure connection. Here's what science has revealed about this seemingly small act. When you and your dog lock eyes in a calm, affectionate gaze, both of your brains release oxytocin, the same hormone that floods a mother's system when she holds her newborn, the same chemical that bonds humans together in our deepest moments of intimacy and trust. Your dog isn't just looking at you. They're bonding with you on a neurological level, and every time you look away too quickly, every time your gaze drifts to a screen or a distraction, that moment of potential connection dissolves into nothing. Dogs are masters of observation. They watch us constantly, learning our patterns, reading our moods, anticipating our movements. But watching isn't the same as being seen. Your dog knows the difference between being monitored and being cherished, and that difference lives in your eyes. Try it tonight. Sit with your dog in a quiet moment, no phone, no television, just you and them. Look into their eyes softly, without intensity or demand, and watch what happens. Watch how their body relaxes, how their breathing slows, how something ancient and profound passes between you without a single word. That's the second gesture, pure presence delivered through sight. But here's where it goes deeper. The third gesture your dog expects is the mirror image of being seen. They need to know that you see them, not just their physical form, but their communication, their language, their voice. Your dog has been talking to you their entire life. Every ear twitch, every sigh, every subtle shift in posture carries meaning. The slight turn of their head when they're confused, the specific way their tail moves when they're excited versus anxious versus uncertain, the soft exhale when they finally feel safe enough to truly rest. Most owners hear their dogs. Few actually listen. Learning your dog's unique dialect, because every dog has one, is an act of profound respect. It tells them that their inner world matters to you, that they're not just a companion, but a being with thoughts, preferences, and emotions worth understanding. The dogs who feel most deeply bonded to their owners aren't the ones who receive the most treats or the longest walks. They're the ones who feel genuinely known, recognized, understood in their own silent language. Your dog has been speaking to you since the day you met. The question is, have you been paying attention? What I'm about to say might feel like a contradiction to everything you believe about being a good dog owner. But stay with me, because this gesture is one of the most misunderstood expressions of love, and getting it wrong could be quietly diminishing your dog's quality of life. The fourth gesture your dog expects from you is not comfort, it's challenge. I know. We live in a culture that celebrates pampering our pets, orthopedic beds, climate-controlled homes, treats delivered with minimal effort. We've built entire industries around making our dogs' lives as easy as possible, convinced that removing every obstacle is the ultimate expression of care. But here's what that well-intentioned softness actually creates: boredom, stagnation, a slow, invisible erosion of the very thing that makes your dog feel alive. Dogs weren't designed for lives of passive comfort. Their ancestors solved problems to survive. They tracked scents across miles of wilderness. They strategized, adapted, overcame. That drive didn't disappear when they moved onto our couches. It just went dormant. And dormant drives don't fade quietly. They transform into anxiety, restlessness, and behaviors we mistakenly label as bad. The dog who chews your furniture isn't being destructive. They're screaming for stimulation. The dog who barks at nothing isn't being annoying. They're desperately trying to create something, anything, to engage their mind. Research in canine cognition has shown us something remarkable. Dogs who regularly engage in problem-solving activities show slower cognitive decline as they age. Their brains stay sharper, their spirits stay brighter, their engagement with life remains vibrant well into their senior years. Mental challenge isn't optional enrichment, it's neurological nutrition. And this is where the gesture becomes profound. Your dog doesn't just need puzzles and games. They need you to be the one who provides them. They need to see you as the source of interesting things, the bringer of worthy challenges, the architect of adventures that respect their intelligence. This doesn't require elaborate setups or expensive equipment. Hide treats around your living room and let them hunt. Teach them a new trick that makes them think. Take a different route on your walk and let them navigate unfamiliar scents. Introduce them to new environments, new textures, new sounds, not to overwhelm them, but to awaken them. The kindest thing you can do for your dog isn't to make life easy. It's to make life interesting. When you challenge your dog appropriately, you're not being demanding. You're honoring who they actually are beneath the domestication, a brilliant, capable creature who wants to do something meaningful with their time on this earth. Watch your dog after they've solved a puzzle or mastered something new. Watch the pride in their posture, the spark in their eyes, the satisfied exhaustion of a mind well used. That's not stress, that's fulfillment. Your dog doesn't want to be wrapped in cotton wool forever. They want to feel capable, they want to feel clever, they want to feel alive. Remember at the beginning of this video, when I told you that one of these gestures is so counterintuitive, that most owners accidentally do the exact opposite, that it silently chips away at their dog's sense of security every single day. This is that gesture, and it might be the most important thing you hear today. The fifth gesture your dog expects from you is permission. Permission to stop performing, permission to disengage, permission to simply exist in your presence without earning their place there. Let that sink in for a moment. We live in a culture obsessed with interaction. We call our dogs over constantly. We ask for tricks to show guests. We fill every silence with baby talk, every stillness with petting, every quiet moment with some form of engagement. We do it because we love them, because their attention feels good, because the connection is addictive. But here's what we don't realize. Every demand for interaction, no matter how loving, communicates something to your dog. You must perform to belong here. Think about the humans in your life who exhaust you, not because they're cruel, but because being around them requires constant energy. You can never just be. You're always performing, always responding, always on. Now imagine living with that person and never being able to escape, never being able to close a door and breathe. That's what many dogs experience. Not abuse, not neglect, just relentless, well-intentioned engagement that never allows them to fully power down. Dogs need permission to rest, truly rest, without wondering if they're about to be called, touched, or asked to do something. They need to know that their presence alone is enough, that they don't have to earn your love moment by moment. The most powerful version of this gesture is breathtakingly simple. Sit with your dog in complete silence. No commands, no petting, no phones, just shared space and parallel existence. Let them feel your calm presence without any expectation attached to it. Watch what happens when you do this consistently. Watch how their body releases tension they've been carrying for years. Watch how their breathing deepens into true relaxation. Watch how they begin to rest with an abandon they've never shown before, because finally, they understand that being near you doesn't require vigilance. This is the counterintuitive truth that changes everything. Sometimes the most loving thing you can say to your dog is nothing at all. Sometimes presence without performance is the rarest gift you can offer. Your dog doesn't need you to constantly prove your love. They need to feel safe enough to stop proving theirs. In those quiet moments, when you're reading and they're sleeping at your feet, when you're watching television and they're simply breathing beside you, something sacred happens. Not connection through action, but connection through being. And in that silence, your dog finally hears what they've been waiting their whole life to understand. You belong here, just as you are. There's something I need to tell you now. Something most videos about dogs avoid because it's uncomfortable, because it sits in the tender part of our hearts that we protect with distraction and denial. But you've stayed with me this far, so I know you're someone who wants the truth, even when it aches. The sixth gesture your dog expects from you isn't something they consciously understand. It's something only you can carry, and it might be the most profound expression of love you'll ever give them. It's the gesture of awareness, the acknowledgement that your time together has a horizon. Your dog lives in an eternal present. They don't count the years. They don't calculate how many walks remain or how many evenings are left by the fireplace. Every moment with you is simply now, complete, whole, and infinite from their perspective. But you know something they don't. You carry the weight of the calendar they cannot read. You understand that the grey creeping into their muzzle means something, that the stairs they climb slower each year are measuring something, that one ordinary Tuesday will eventually become the last ordinary Tuesday. This isn't meant to break your heart. It's meant to wake it up. Because here's what happens when we avoid this truth. We sleepwalk through the precious, unrepeatable moments. We assume there will always be another morning, another walk, another chance to give them our full attention. We postpone presence because the illusion of endless time makes us lazy with our love. But when you hold the awareness of finitude gently in your chest, everything transforms. The morning cuddle becomes sacred. The evening walk becomes a meditation. The quiet moments on the couch become exactly what they always were, miracles of connection between two species who somehow found each other in an impossibly vast universe. The sixth gesture is living like your dog's time matters, because it does. More than we allow ourselves to feel. This means being present now, not when work slows down, not when the kids are older, not when life gets less busy. Now. This imperfect, chaotic, beautiful now. It also means preparing for their future, even when that future is difficult to imagine, knowing who would care for them if something happened to you, having the hard conversations with your veterinarian before crisis forces them, making decisions from love rather than desperation. Your dog has given you something beyond measure, their entire heart without reservation, without condition, without holding anything back for self-protection. They've loved you with a completeness most humans never experience. The sixth gesture is loving them back with that same wholeness, not someday, today. Your dog doesn't know how much time you have together, but you do, and that knowledge isn't a burden, it's a gift, the rarest kind of gift, the kind that shows you exactly what matters, exactly when it matters, right now, while they're still beside you, while their eyes still find yours across the room, right now.